Welcome back to TCM. I'm Dave Karger. Tonight, our lineup of movies about fake music bands has included a rock and roll group called Stillwater and an Irish soul music band called The Commitments. Up next, we're moving to the punk rock scene of the early 80s with a movie that marked an early starring vehicle for two of its leading ladies, Diane Lane and Laura Dern. From Paramount in 1982, it's Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains. Diane Lane leads the cast as a tough-as-nails teenager who starts an all-girl punk band called The Stains, along with her sister and their cousin, played by Laura Dern. At first, they know nothing about playing music, but Lane's brazen and rebellious charisma gains them a strong female following, and the band's popularity quickly takes off. Diane Lane was 15 years old when she made this movie and had just finished making her film debut in A Little Romance, which was released in 1979. Laura Dern turned 13 during the production and only had one other credited screen role before this. In addition to seeing these two exceptional actresses at the beginning of their careers, The Fabulous Stains also offers a glimpse of major stars in the early 80s punk music scene. Keep an eye out for performances from Steve Jones and Paul Cook from the Sex Pistols and Paul Simonon from The Clash. Fee Waybill from The Tubes also plays a memorable role as a washed-up frontman named Lou Corpse. The movie was filmed in 1980, but Paramount shelved it for 2 years, and even then, it didn't get a wide release. It played occasionally on late-night television in the 80s and eventually gained a cult following. From 1982, directed by Lou Adler, and also featuring Marin Cantor, Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains. As I mentioned before, the movie, Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains, was filmed in 1980, but its release was held up for 2 years. The production was plagued with problems almost from the beginning. Its director, Lou Adler, had only made one movie before this, the 1978 Cheech and Chong comedy Up in Smoke. Adler was much better known for his work in the music industry as the manager of many major artists, including the Mamas and the Papas and Carole King. He had a more experienced collaborator in screenwriter Nancy Dowd, who also wrote the screenplay for the Paul Newman ice hockey comedy Slapshot and had just won a Best Original Screenplay Oscar for the 1978 Vietnam War drama Coming Home. But Dowd and Adler clashed on their visions for the film, and Dowd later claimed that she felt like she was pushed out of the production. Adler took over the editing, and Dowd took her name off the film, using a pseudonym instead. When Paramount previewed the movie for test audiences, the response was so poor that the studio decided not to give it a general release at all. For years, it was difficult to find a copy of The Fabulous Stains, but that finally changed when the movie was released on DVD in 2008. Up next is a Martin Scorsese film that's often been hailed as one of the greatest concert documentaries ever made.
Next on TCM, The Last Waltz, then Monterey Pop, and later Disraeli. We dip our toe in diplomacy on TCM tonight.